I'm very glad to see all this interest in the I Ching. So let's end the series talking about how the trigrams of the I Ching represent one of the world's first great memory palace systems. And I'm especially excited because this is a brand new wall that I put together. But before we do that, let's use the simple version that I initially did because it's easier to read. So these are the 8 trigrams of the I Ching, and they're a family. Here's the mother, Earth. Here's the father, Heaven. And then there are 3 sisters and 3 brothers, and they represent different aspects of nature. As you can see, the mother, Kun, is all yin lines. She is receptive. The father, Xian, is all yang lines, the creative. At the top is the one that I identify with the most. The middle sister, Li, she represents sun or lightning or fire. Then across from her, we have the middle brother, Kan, the abysmal. And that's because this yang line in the middle is supposed to be like water going through rocks and crevices and being fast and furious. It can be dangerous yet powerful. The youngest brother, Ken, is a mountain. The oldest brother, Shen, can be thunder or wood, a sign of movement. Sun is the oldest sister, and she can be characterized by wind. And then the sweet and lovely, here nestled between her parents, is Tui, who is the youngest, the lake, and her trigram looks like a lake. As you can imagine, when you ask the I Ching a question and get a hexagram made up of 2 of these trigrams, there's a relationship between them, and sometimes they don't work so well together, and other times they do, and it's an important part of what the I Ching is. But each trigram represents so much more than this. If they are a statue in a memory palace system, for instance, Kan is much more than water and clouds and danger and winter. If you go to the hexagram that has Kan twice, it lists all of the other ideas and aspects that have built up around this idea of Kan the abysmal over the millennia. For instance, and now we can use my new I Ching memory palace, if you look at Kan, there are so many other things attached to it. If it is a type of wood, it is firm with the pith. Kan is the color red, represents the moon, ambush, thieves, the bending and straightening out, the widening courses of water. It is blood as a fluid of the body. And there's also different types of people for each of these signs. So among men, Kan is the melancholy with sick hearts and earaches. And there's even types of horses for each of these. So the Kan type horses are those with beautiful backs with wild courage that let their heads hang. Those with thin hooves and those that stumble. And then even types of tools like the bow and the wheel. So what's useful about this is once you study these trigrams, you start to see them everywhere and get a better sense of how the universe works. And once you memorize all of the hexagrams and how they interact, then you get to see patterns that repeat everywhere throughout existence. And so I think that's why this was probably the first and the best memory palace system ever created. Let me know if you have any questions.